All right. Thank you, Stephen. I appreciate that. Thank you for giving myself and Vantage Point the opportunity to come to the Candlestick Forum and talk about artificial intelligence. Let me just do a quick sound check and screen check. If you guys can hear my voice okay, make sure my mic is working good and you can see my screen that says Vantage Point celebrating 40 years of empowering traders. Just go ahead and put a yes, or you can see my screen, or loud and clear. Okay. Good. Ray, Ronnie, Bill, yes, James, Jim. Perfect. Hear you, but there's an occasional dropout, says Jay. Okay. I appreciate that. I will go as slowly and mindfully as I can. I do have a good bit of material to cover, but if at any point I drop out or you can't see my screen anymore, just put a little chat in. I'll be monitoring the chat, and I'll do what I can to fix the issue. All right. Let me just give everybody a quick reminder. We're going to be talking about artificial intelligence. We're going to be talking about trading. Just realize that trading has its risks. Never invest money you can't afford to lose. Always trade with what we like to call equity management, money management in mind. Right? So it's good to have everybody here. And I want to lay a little foundation before we get started, before we get too deep into the information. Lay a little bit of foundation and go over what we're going to be talking about. Sometimes I can get long-winded. I apologize in advance. I get excited about the markets. I've been at it a long time, like most of you. But I'm going to try to keep this to a hard stop, 60 minutes if I can. You know, this is designed to help you see the power of artificial intelligence in your trades. All right. This is the same artificial intelligence that we use in our everyday life. We're going to talk about that. Right. And just to answer a question for people, a question I usually get at this point, it does work. This AI works for stocks, for options. So we got options traders that use it very, very well. Forex, futures and commodities, cryptocurrencies, cannabis stocks, you name it. This artificial intelligence can be applied to any asset class. Okay, so just want to make sure we get that out of the way. Just remember that, this may not be for everybody. I realize that. Hopefully you realize that too. I've learned in my time that successful people do what unsuccessful people can't, or maybe they're not willing to do. So let me start off by commending every single one of you, for being here to find out if that's you or not. I don't take your time for granted. Know that. I know a lot of people have busy lives and busy schedules, and I'm going to give you everything I've got in a short amount of time. So I'm going to talk a few minutes here. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this, but I'd like to kind of understand who we have on the call. I'd like to give a little intro of myself. I'm probably like a lot of you on this call. I'm a father. You can see on the screen, I'm a husband. I've got a house full of girls, and you can imagine that it's pretty inspiring in my house some days with a house full of girls. That's a picture of my wife in the vineyards in Paris, which, as you know on this call, that's one of the benefits of being successful in the financial markets, being able to travel the world. And I've done that. And I can tell you, I didn't start out this way. I went down the corporate path, and I worked for decades to help multi-billion, I should say, Fortune 30 companies, make sure that they were compliant, efficient, didn't spend wildly. I've since retired from that world, if you will. And what I do now, I hold live seminars, webinars. I help traders understand the power of artificial intelligence. I work both domestically and internationally as an AI trading mentor and coach. So I can tell you one thing. If anybody's worked for corporate America, I learned some stuff from working for corporate America. And what I do now is way more fulfilling. What I realize in corporate America is that the effectiveness of the organization is dependent on the tools that the employees are provided to do their job. Right? It doesn't matter the industry. If you dig ditches, a backhoe is better than a shovel. If you're an architect, AutoCAD is more effective than graph paper or a ruler, pencil. You guys get the point, I'm sure. I realized I could apply that same lesson to trading, and that's when I took action, right? You see, I was always taught if you want to be more successful, you got to be an action taker, not just a thinker, but a doer. So that's what I did, and the markets have really rewarded me. I see that I'm getting some comments that the sound is dropping out here or there. I'll try to adjust my mic level, maybe move my mic a little closer, see if that helps it out. I appreciate that feedback. Thank you. Here's what I can tell you. After you do this long enough, you realize there's certain tools that are more effective than others, if you will. There's other things, there's other systems or strategies, and we're going to be talking about a tool here, all right? That's where Vantage Point comes into play. It's a tool that helps traders be more successful in the market, and I plan on spending time to show you why, all right? Now, let me ask some questions about you, if you would, so I can make sure I know who I'm talking to. On a scale of 1 to 10, if you're a newbie to the market, maybe you're a newer trader, you've been trading for a couple of months, and you're kind of getting your feet wet, and you're 1, you'd be a 10 if trading is easy. You make $500,000 a year in the markets, and you've been doing this a while. Where would you fall on that scale? Are you a 2? Are you a 3? A 7? A 10? This way I can understand, who we have on the call and how can I adjust my presentation to make sure that all skill levels can see how artificial intelligence can help them. All right, so I've got Jake at a 2 and James, 2, 7, 6, 7, Lee, 6. 8 is the AP Webster, 9. Fantastic. Good. A lot of experience. Norman, 1. Kaz, 7. Tom, 8. You got a 1, 1, 2, 5. Good. Good. Well, I appreciate that. All right. So, and they're still rolling in. You can go ahead and keep putting in your number. It seems like we've got probably about an average around a 5 or 6, right? Right in that range, which is great, which is good to know. Also, let me ask another question while you're thinking about that. What asset classes are you trading primarily in here in the candlestick form? Are we doing stocks, stock options, ETFs, futures and commodities, cryptocurrencies, foreign exchange? Because I realize that there's a lot of opportunity in all of those asset classes, and we know that the artificial intelligence works for all of those classes. I just want to make sure that I'm providing information that'll help. Stocks and ETFs, stocks and options, stocks, ETFs, stocks, options, ETFs. Okay, futures, options spread mainly, stocks and ETFs, stocks and options. Good. James says options. Perfect. All right, so that's fantastic. Okay. Webster says stocks, options, futures, ETFs. Good. That helps me understand. And as I said, the software, the artificial intelligence works for all of those asset classes, and I appreciate the feedback. It gives me an idea where we can spend some time throughout our conversation. I'm going to show you exactly how this technology works. We're going to run through a lot of examples. And if you're struggling with trading, if you're not at the level of success that you want to be, it's probably because you haven't really found anything to help you with your stocks, with your options, something that can give you holistic information. There's a lot of great information out here. I was looking at some of the chats in the Candlestick Forum, and I can tell you there's really good information and strategy available out here. But we all have that one thing I think we could fix, right? If there's one thing that you could fix in your trading, what would it be? Like, is it finding opportunities? If you could find better opportunities more often, would that help you drastically improve your results? Or those dreaded timing issues, right? Late entries, late exits. What's affecting your trading? If you could fix that one thing, maybe wave a magic wand and fix one thing, what would it be? Right? Grabbing profits and exiting too early, says Jay. All right, that's good. An early exit, so you get out of that position and the thing keeps running in your favor and you're on the sideline. Exits. Let me see. Kate. Well, that's not a problem with your trading, Kate. That's for sure. Uncertainty about entries and exits, says Jake. Entries, higher probability. So finding opportunities that have a higher probability to be successful. So avoiding those marginal trades. Okay, good. Usually I see exits. Especially with options traders, a lot of options, we know that a high percentage of options expire worthless. And that's usually because, the exits end up being off. You had a profit, you waited, got closer to expiration, time took your profits, and sometimes in some cases moved into a loser. All right, good. So we're on the same page. There's something that can be fixed with your trading, and what I'm seeing from the comments, it's timing. That's the biggest thing, timing and finding opportunities, right? That's what we're here to help you fix. I mean, after all, there's always a winner, there's always a loser in trading, and the way I look at it is, why not get on the winning side of trades more often, right? If you can do that, if you can gain an edge to do that, you can absolutely be more successful, right? Now, the beginning piece of this presentation, I'm going to go pretty quick because I want to jump into the artificial intelligence software, but I want to make sure we're on the same page. And listen to me clearly. Here's who we are and what we do. We are a software company. If you look at the screen right now, you can see that's what we've been doing for decades upon decades. We're not a broker. We don't manage your money. We're not out there trying to sell you, a system based on just rules. Understand that. I think it's really important we're on the same page. We don't get involved with your money or executing your trades. Personally, I think that's a conflict of interest, if you will. I mean, does that make sense? If you're getting indications about when to trade or what to trade from the same people that you're paying commissions to, well, you got to question that. We have been perfecting trading software since 1979, okay? And almost 30 of those years has been specific to artificial intelligence, close to 30 years, right? And I don't know about you, but I know for a fact that you don't last 40 years in anything unless you have a rock solid foundation. And you've been doing something really, really good, is basically what I'm getting at. Since 1991, if you look at the screen right now, you can see that Vantage Point software, as we know it, was released, and it's helped over 29,000 traders around the world be more successful. And there's so many reasons why I can get into that's true. And I don't want to just make this intro about Vantage Point AI, the company, and spend all my time there, but as you get to know the company, as you get to know our organization and our culture, you'll see why firsthand, why we've been able to be so successful for the last 4 years. I mean, if you look at the screen, you can see we're awarded around the world from organization after organization for not only our company culture, but also our performance with the software and in the markets, right? And all of this, that whole foundation is for one thing. That's to empower traders daily. That's our mantra. That's our thing. Now, Jay says, you remember seeing Vantage Point ads in stocks and commodities way back around 2000. Yeah, Jay, you're exactly right. That was 19 years ago, right? That was a decade, pretty much a decade into us using artificial intelligence in the financial markets. Thank you for saying that, because it's been successful for a long, long time. And it's all thanks to these two guys right here. If you look at your screen right now, you should see it switching here in a moment, but I just put up a screen with Lane Mendelsohn and Louis Mendelsohn, right? Lou Mendelsohn is our founder. He's a Carnegie Mellon alumnus, and for those of you that know, Carnegie Mellon is probably the birthplace or one of the birthplaces of artificial intelligence, right? On the left, you've got Lane Mendelsohn. You know, he grew up from the time he was born in this organization. He's an artificial intelligence expert, and he's been interviewed by Kevin Harrington, the Shark Tank guy. He's been on Yahoo Finance, NASDAQ, Fox Business has had him out. You've probably seen him on one of these programs at some point or another. You know, this is about longevity. This is about credibility. Lane's been around the world talking about leveraging artificial intelligence to make trading decisions because it's been successful for so long, right? And I can tell you stories for days. I know we have an hour here, but I can tell you stories for days about the legacy. I could talk about it forever and how it's changed so many lives, but I don't think you have time for that. I don't either. You know, we've got an hour here together. But I don't think it's important to talk too much about it. You can check out their backgrounds. You can read some of Louis Mendelssohn's books, watch some of the videos online. I'm telling you, he's like the Steve Jobs. Louis Mendelssohn's like the Steve Jobs of artificial intelligence in the financial markets. I mean, imagine it like this. You know, Steve Jobs, before he passed away, may he rest in peace. But if he were able to train his son, he had a son he could train and then hand over Apple, the company, when he felt it was ready. That would have taken Apple to another level. I mean, think about that. That credibility, that family legacy would have taken Apple to an absolute level, and that's where we are right now. Second generation. It's just straight up longevity and credibility, nothing more, nothing less. Right? And I appreciate you guys. I tried to get to that as quickly as possible. I appreciate you guys giving me the opportunity to do that and lay a little foundation because, to be frank, I demo this software a lot. I mean, it's my responsibility to help traders understand how artificial intelligence can help them be more successful. And people always ask the question, does it work? Right? You probably have that question going on in your mind. Does it work as well as I say it is through this presentation? I'm going to show you some stats behind that. I'm going to show you some third-party studies, but I wanted to give you a quick little intro. So thank you. And again, Jay and Ed, Jake, Tom, everybody, thank you for your feedback. I appreciate that. I won't be using any last names. I realize this is the internet, so I just wanted to make sure everybody knows. Here's my promise. As I start to shift gears here, here's my promise to you. By the time I'm done here today, you're going to have full confidence in the power of artificial intelligence to make better trading decisions, right? More important than that, or I guess I should say in addition to that, you're going to see how even the newest trader, those guys that are in their ones or twos, or maybe you're 9 or 10, right? How the newest trader all the way up to the experienced trader can use and leverage this technology. It is a decision support tool, right? Doesn't matter what account size you have. You can trade small, you can trade big. It doesn't matter. It's information to make you trade or help you trade better. And you can make a lot of money. You can make money fairly quickly. And I think most of you on this call, if not every single one of you, probably realize that. Just remember, there's no such thing as an overnight success. We've been perfecting this technology since the late 80s, right? And I can tell you, if you know me, I don't like hype, right? This is a tool set, folks. I'm not here to play games with you or get you pumped up about something that isn't what it is. This is a tool set, all right? Remember, tools require us to develop skills so that we can use them effectively. And that's what we do here. We train you, we help you, we guide you. So as we go through the demo right now and we walk through the software, and we're going to look at the live software, right? As we go through it, I want you to ask yourself something. I want you to ask yourself if you can see yourself doing this. And I want you to honestly say to yourself, does what I'm going over, does it make sense, right? Can I see myself leveraging this technology? Because some of you may be scared or put off from artificial intelligence thanks to the Terminator movies and Skynet, right? I get it. And we'll talk about that. But I believe, personally, I believe that the answer to those questions is going to be yes. I believe that if you can grasp this on your own, you're well on your way to really creating financial freedom or financial independence, right? And here's my definition of that. It's simply being able to control your life. You don't have to be a multimillionaire to do that. Most people think traders are multimillionaires, and there are some. I know several of them. What if you could just get to the point where you're making maybe $100,000 to $150,000 more a year, right? If you're on this call and you think adding $100,000 to $150,000 a year to your trading capital year in and year out is something that would help you feel successful, give me some feedback. Give me a yes, give me an amen, give me something so that I know that we're on the same page, because that would give you a lot more financial freedom. Is that fair to say? Right? Yeah. Ronnie agrees. Good. Penny? Absolutely. Jay? Amen, says Jay. Frank? Yes. Jeremiah? Amen. See, exactly. And thank you for that. I know we're on the same page. I appreciate that. And here's what I'm going to say, and I'm so confident this tool will help you increase your trading success. I believe that if you can't gain an advantage with this software, maybe you're at a point in your career where you may not be able to gain any more advantage at all, right? Maybe, and that's very bold. I get it. It's a very bold statement, but I think over the next 30 to 45 minutes, I'm gonna back that up. So I'm gonna get a quick drink of water because I like to run through that stuff as quickly as I can. I want to get into the meat and potatoes. I want to bring up the software, and I want to make sure that we're all on the same page. So let me just change my screen here so that you can see the software. I'm going to drag it over onto the screen. Give me a quick yes as if you can now see a chart on the screen. I just brought up the software. It's loading as we speak. Actually, let me go in here. Let's take off some of these indicators right now so that, this looks familiar to you, so that you know what you're looking at. Because what we're looking at, what we have on the screen is a candlestick chart, right? Let's see. Okay, we've got some things coming through. Yes, yeah, we can see it. Yes. Okay. All right. Good. Good. Everybody can see it. Fantastic. So what we're looking at, let me get a drink. Hold on one second, guys. Here we go. Thank you. This is a live presentation, if you can't tell, and I do blow through a lot of information, and, I am human, so I'll jump in and get a drink of water as often as we can. All right, good. So what we're looking at is a chart for FLIR systems on the screen, right? And the reason I wanted to bring this up is because I want everybody to understand that the basis for this technology is a candlestick chart. It's end-of-day data, and don't worry, we're going to dig into the AI. We're going to dig into that stuff to get into a lot of information, but I want to get everybody up to speed as to what we're looking at, because one of the things that I noticed as I've been in the markets for over 21 years now is that software companies seem to sometimes make software complicated, right? Has anybody seen that in your software, maybe in your broker's platform? It's complicated. There's a lot of menus. There's a lot of things to click on. We don't know what they all mean and what they say, right? Maybe they make it complicated so you have to reach out to them. I don't know, but I've noticed that. That's not here. That's not Vantage Point. You can see that on the screen. Going back to Steve Jobs, I think it was him that said, the hard part is taking something complicated and making it look simple, right? That's the hard stuff. Well, the Mendelsohns have knocked that out of the park. You can see that what we're looking at on the screen is very easy to understand basic. Look, let's run through it. Top left corner, we've got some menu options. On the left-hand side of the screen, we've got different asset classes, right? Everything from futures. There's over 70 futures markets, over 35 forex pairs, over 150 ETFs. There's even some leverage bear and bull ETFs, inverse ETFs, United States stocks. There's 13 stock sectors in here with, well over 1,000 stocks. Canadian stocks, cryptocurrencies, cryptocurrency pairs. All of those asset classes are available in the software, all right? And to get anything in the software, the AI has gone out and scanned 10,000 markets around the world, right, to figure out what can be forecasted with a high degree of accuracy. And the accuracy I'm talking about is over 80%, right? So it's scanned the markets around the world. It's found the markets that have a high degree of accuracy with the artificial intelligence because it's solving some major challenges, right? Let me go back to that. Let's talk about that. I want to bring my slide presentation back up because I think once we talk about the challenges, you'll be on the same page with me. I know there's a little bit of a lag here on the screen, so I'll let it click through. But if you look at the screen right now, you should see some technical indicators coming on the screen. You guys see these? Tell me if you've used these. Fibonacci, support resistance, trend line breakouts, candlestick formations, all of that stuff. Moving averages, Bollinger Bands. I mean, we can go on and on about these different technical indicators. Have you used these in the past? Have you experienced these? Because I know I have, and the traders that I've helped, turn their trading around have a lot of experience. Oh yeah, exactly, Dave. And Keith says yes. You'll probably understand this when I say this, but what I found, I call these the usual suspects, and I found that they're lagging price indicators, right? And that's not a surprise to you on this call. You understand that those are lagging indicators. They look at past price data, right? They have a lot of redundancy. Yeah, it's a different way to look at the same information, right? And when you sit back and you think about it, even if you look at a real-time chart, even if you get a moving average on a real-time chart, that's still 1 second ago, right? It's not giving you information about future information. Jim says, yeah, this is the candlestick form. Yeah, and I love candlestick formations. Absolutely. I look at them, I use them daily, but we can't deny the fact that they are lagging price information, right? We're on the same page there. And what happens is you end up layering a lot of these things on your screen, and your screens end up looking something like this. It's a little bit of an exaggeration. I get it. I know a lot of screens don't end up looking like that, but the point I'm trying to get across is that to overcompensate, yeah, Tom says, to overcompensate for what's going on with these lagging indicators, we seem to layer them on top of each other, right? We try to figure out what's going on in the markets based on lagging indicators, and we end up throwing up our hands like this guy Charles in the picture, like, what am I seeing? This indicator says this indicator says that. And it's just telling me what has happened versus what's going to happen, right? And I'm sure a lot of you on this call have found yourself in this situation. Even though it's an exaggeration, you get my point. Everybody uses these, and you've got to think about it. If everybody is using these, then why is it that most traders are breaking even or in some cases losing money, right? Why do traders fail to get the substantial profits and returns? Jay, laser light show chart. Yeah. Yep, I've seen some charts like that before. So it's not because traders are unintelligent, right? I like to make sure we put that out. It's not that you don't know what you're doing. If you were unintelligent, if you didn't know how to interpret a candlestick, you wouldn't be in this forum, right? You wouldn't get past the point of using standard lagging indicators. Joe, we're absolutely getting to that point. I want to make sure we set the stage. We're going to get into the software. We're going to spend a lot of time in the software looking at examples, but I want to make sure we're all on the same page here. It's that the problem with the lackluster results is not you. All right? The problem with lackluster results is the tools that you're using to make your trading decisions. The tools lag the market. They don't give you the information you need to be a trader. We go out and we buy every system under the sun. We try to get to different trading schools and follow different experts. We can keep doing that, and you probably should. But my sound's cutting out a little bit. All right, let me see if I can back the gain down some, and maybe that'll stop it from cutting out here. All right, let's do that. Told you I get excited, so I might be blowing the mic out. We could, the point I'm trying to make is that we could keep doing what we're doing, or we can leverage technology, right? We can leverage data analysis and computing power. We can have machines help us, make holistic decisions based off of relationships that occur. And I want to get into that so that you can understand this, because if you've been trading for long, you got to realize this. You're a trader, right? You've decided to do this. I'm not here to show you the opportunity that trading is, right? What I'm talking about is that you've got to get better information so that you can be a more successful trader, because you're going to trade anyway. So why not gain the biggest advantage, right? So let's roll into this. Let's roll into this information. Let's see here. Let me see. I'm going to reload the room. Let's see. Use the red X. Jim's giving me some updates here, Jim. Reload the room. All right, I'm going to reload really quick. I just did a quick reload, a quick refresh so we can get on the same page. Hopefully, I know you were talking to the guy that had the problems doing it, but I wanted to make sure it wasn't me, right? I hate it when it's me. So let's talk about the technology. Let's talk about what we're getting into here. We're talking about artificial intelligence. All right, that's what we're talking about. Look at your screen right now. You've experienced, and I don't want to belabor this point much more, but and we are going to get to the nitty gritty. Absolutely. I just found that. Let me give you a quick second. I found that in my time, people who tend to be overwhelmed by artificial intelligence don't really understand it. So I'm going to take 5 more minutes, and then we'll jump into the software so that everybody is on the same page. But here's what we know. Artificial intelligence is pretty much, algorithms, looking for patterns and relationships, processing mass amounts of data, to mimic the human brain. It's called machine learning, right? It's a series of complex neural networks. And there's a whole bunch of technical mumbo jumbo I could get into, but I'm not going to today. Just realize you've interacted with some form of AI in your day, in your time, right? Google Assistant, Siri, Alexa, all those things. You've interacted. Heck, my kids love Alexa. I don't know about you, but I don't know if your kids or your grandkids yell at that thing. Mine boss it around because that's all they can boss around besides the dogs. It's so funny, but that's AI. When I send a text message, it fascinates me. It figures out what I'm going to send next. Gives me the word so I can click on the word, all right? When I send an email, it starts predicting what it's going to say next, right? Maybe you have a modern car like mine. I have a Mercedes that'll yell at me if I, speed up to the car in front of me too quickly, or they slow down and I'm not slowing down fast enough. Heck, a Tesla can drive itself, right? That's all about technology. That's all about artificial intelligence, right? It's machine learning. Let me give you I want to give you guys a fun little example here. I'm going to put something on the screen really quickly that demonstrates artificial intelligence, because AI has the ability to process mass amounts of data. I just put up this tool on the screen. It's called Quick Draw. And the reason I put it on the screen is because it's a Google project. If you look in the bottom left corner, you can see this is created by Google. It's an AI experiment. And they've loaded millions and millions of doodles into this program. I don't know if anybody's used this before. And it attempts to predict what your doodle is going to be inside of 20 seconds. Look, I'm going to show you. It's telling me right now on the screen, if you haven't seen it yet, to draw a camel, right? And it usually talks to me. Let's see. I draw a line on that chart. You can see that the E-mini NASDAQ ended higher than it started. Everybody understands that. It's candlestick form. Move that line down to Amazon, and what you'll see is that Amazon went the same direction at the same time. Are you guys seeing this? You guys are seeing the fact that these two markets move the same direction at the same time? Then that's called intermarket analysis. That's global market analysis, and what that means is that before I trade Amazon, I should probably go see what the E-mini NASDAQ is doing. Which, guys, that's a golden nugget. Right, that's something you got to remember, that if you're going to trade something like Amazon, you should go check the NASDAQ, right? Here's another one. Financial sector ETF and Bank of America. If you look at the financial sector ETF, you guys can't see my screen. You guys see my screen? Let's do it again. Webinano's not cooperating with me today, guys. So just be patient with me. I'm going to go ahead and make sure the screen is sharing and everything's up to date. All right. You guys have me loud and clear? Give me a yes if you can hear me in the chat, so I know that you guys can hear me okay. Webinato has interrupted my screen and says that it's not sharing at the moment, so I'm giving it a second to get loaded here. There we go. Mike, you can hear me? All right, good. And you guys, can you see my screen now? Fantastic. Good. All right. Everything is good to go. We're back in order. We're back in working order. I appreciate that, guys. All right. So look at this. What I put on the screen right now is I drew a line, if you will, on the financial sector ETF, and I moved that line down to Bank of America. And I'm doing this because I want to demonstrate to you that the markets are interconnected. You can see that there's a relationship here, a correlation. We know that when the financial sector ETF goes up, Bank of America usually goes up. So before you go trade Bank of America, you should probably go see what's going on with the financial sector ETF, right? That makes sense. But not all relationships go the same direction, right? Look at your screen right now, the E-mini S&P and gold, okay? E-mini S&P, when it's going up, you can see that at the same time, gold is going down. This is an inverse relationship. And when I say inverse relationship, what I mean is that we've heard gold is a safe haven, right? When the markets are bad, gold is climbing. We've experienced that in a lot of cases. This is called intermarket analysis. I'm getting reports that my sound is gone. Can you guys hear me okay? Sound is fine. Thanks, Jim. I appreciate that. If anybody else is on there and you can hear me and you can see my screen, just give me a little feedback. This is for you. I'm giving this information to you because I want to make sure that you've got the opportunity to be more successful, and I don't want to miss out on a single one of you. All right? So here's the point I'm trying to make. The markets are global. You know that. I know that. That makes sense. The tools that you're using to analyze your trades and these trends, they ignore the fact that there's global markets impacting the stocks that you're trying to trade or you're trying to buy or sell options on. That's it. Those relationships are there. We can't do anything about that except for take advantage of the fact that those relationships are there by using technology that can take advantage of that. Does that make sense? Does that help you guys out on this call a little bit to say, how is Vantage Point doing using artificial intelligence? It's using it to analyze the global relationships around the world. All right? Matter of fact, let's jump into the software really quickly, and I want to show you what I mean by analyzing global market relationships. All right. We're back on FLIR Systems. Can you guys see FLIR Systems on your screen? This is the good stuff. This is the nitty-gritty you want to get into, where we're going to be talking about how to use this to forecast trends. So I want to make sure that you can see it. FLIR Systems, we've got almost a year. We've got about a year, December 27th to September 20th, right? Every candlestick on this is end-of-day data, right? Screen sharing tab is up and running, Jim. Good. End-of-day data. Every candlestick here is one trading day, and there's no 4-hour charts in the software, no weekly charts, no 1-hour charts. Everything is based off of one day data, okay? Now, here's how the artificial intelligence is analyzing this information. Look at this. I'm going to go to the properties on FLIR Systems. And for those of you that don't know who FLIR is, FLIR is a company that does infrared technology, night vision goggles, right? They're a lot of aerospace, and you can see the artificial intelligence has gone out and figured out through this list what 30 markets are influencing FLIR Systems. Aerospace and defense is in here. That's an obvious one. But look at this, guys. I'm looking at a list of ETFs right here at the top. The SPDR, the Qs. Then I got I got the euro, the yen, the dollar, right? Major currencies around the world, light sweet crude oil, natural gas, S&P 500, interest rates. You guys are seeing this list, right? The AI has analyzed over 10,000 markets around the world to figure out what is influencing FLIR Systems. And this is patented, by the way. This is patented technology. There's nobody in the world that's doing this kind of analysis, right? It goes out, the AI goes out and figures out what markets are influencing this stock. It figures out the degree of impact because some of these have a bigger impact than others. And it also figures out the directional bias because some of these will push it up, some of these will push it down, and even sideways, right? Now look at this list. Some of these markets make sense, like the ones I called out. Some of them don't, like Shoe Carnival. Last time I went to Shoe Carnival, they didn't offer me night vision goggles with my Nikes, you know? Kohl's, Marriott, Adobe. You got to think about this like a glacier, right? Like an iceberg. Majority of the iceberg is below the water surface. 15% of it is visible or so. You don't need special technology. You can see it with the naked eye. But the part of the ice that's below the surface, like 85% of that, the part that can really trip you up, like, you know, for instance, the Titanic, is that you need special equipment to see what's below the surface. Well, these markets that don't make sense to you or me, to the human eye, the artificial intelligence has figured out there is an influence, there is an impact there. And that's why this software is able to forecast with such a high degree of accuracy. Right? Are you guys seeing this list? I'm not getting many chats in. If you can see this list and you can see the fact that some of these markets make complete sense and some of them don't, give me a yes. I see it. I understand it. If this is interesting to you and you can see already how this would give you an advantage, tell me that. Say, yeah, this is interesting. I see where this kind of, and all I've done here is pop the hood on the car. You don't have to look at this tab. You don't have to look at this information to trade. I've popped the hood on the car so that you can see the engine and realize what's going on behind the scenes, what the AI is doing, right? Good. You guys can see it. The text, what I'm hearing is a little bit small, but the list is dependent on the market, right? We're looking at FLIR. If we looked at a different market, we'd see a different list. As a matter of fact, could you guys send over some stocks or maybe some markets you want to look at? I've got some pulled up. I've got FLIR Systems. I've got NZD USD. I've got gold. I've got the SPY. For those of you that are on this call right now, just chat in some markets. Chat in some markets and let me know what it is you want to look at, and I'll pull some of those up as well. All right, I don't see anything here. I don't see anything coming in, so we'll look at the 4 markets that I have. All right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, exactly. All right, let me close this because this is step 1 in the process. Like I said, I've just popped the hood in the car, right? I've just given you a view of the engine. But how do you use that? How do you turn that into actionable information? Well, I can tell you. The software predicts 1 to 3 days in advance and creates predictive indicators, right? It uses predictive indicators to figure out what's going on in the markets, what's expected to happen. So let's talk about what those are, because there's 4 points of confirmation, right? There's 4 main points of confirmation. There's 4 predictive indicators, and I want to walk you through what those are. So let me get back to this screen right here and show you. The first one on the screen you should see is a crossover, right? There's a blue line and a black line in the top right corner of the screen. The black line is a simple moving average, and if you don't know the calculation for a simple moving average, I've put a simple one up on the screen. Basically, you can look back 10 days, add that up, divide by 10, and you get a place to plot on the chart. That's good information, but it's lagging, right? What the software has created is a blue line called a predicted moving average, all right? The predicted moving average takes a simple moving average calculation and adds 3 days of unknown data to that calculation, right? 3 days. That means the formula actually has predictive information in the formula, right? Imagine that. Well, let's take a look. Let's take a look on the chart right now and see what that looks like. All right. Go back to the software, and I'm going to go up here. I'm just going to add that predicted moving average that was on the chart before, and we've made it very simple to see. You can see the blue line. You can see the red line. The black line on the chart, and it's divided by this green or red shaded area, right? When it's green shaded, that's the trend prediction saying the trend is expected to go up. But the key here is this crossover. Right here, for example, when on 3-4, the blue line crossed below the black line, indicating this trend is expected to go down. That's a 3-day prediction saying over the next 3 days, this trend is expected to go down, right? That's the first piece of confirmation. It's highly accurate, but it's still one piece of confirmation. Now, when the blue line right here on 4-4 crosses above the black line, that's predicting this trend to go up, okay? When it predicts that trend to go up, that's an indication that the trend is reversing over the next 3 days. Now, that is one point of confirmation. Now, if I'm thinking about a doctor, if I go to the doctor and the doctor says, hey, Daniel, we have to amputate your hand, right? I'm not just going to stick my hand out and let him lop it off. I'm going to go to another doctor, get another point of confirmation, get another professional opinion, let's say. All right, so let's do that. Look at the screen right now. Here's your second point of confirmation, and it's called the predicted neural index. In the left-hand side corner of your screen, you can see there's either a green box or a red box on the screen. The green box predicts a short-term strength, basically up, and red, short-term weakness, basically down. All right, so let's go back to our chart, and let's add that to the chart, because that's our second point of confirmation. All right, so here we go. One click, and I've added to the chart. You can see at the bottom of the chart, there's a green and red bar across the bottom. Now, how do I use this as a second point of confirmation? Well, when the blue line crosses above the black line, and the neural index, you can see right here, the neural index is green, was at 4, 5. The blue line's touching here, 4, 5. It crosses, the neural index is green, both agree. Here we go. This is 5, 10. The blue line crosses below, the area turns red, the neural index is red. They both agree. There are some cases where they don't agree. The key here is that both of these things agree and you got double confirmation. That's what I like to see, and that's what you're looking for, because when they agree, that's a projection that this trend is expected to go up or down over the next few days. All right? We've got 2 points of confirmation now. Let's go. Let's add a third point of confirmation. You look at your screen right now, I'm going to add what's called the predictive differences. All right? There's a pink line, a light blue line, and a navy blue line. They're on the screen in the top left corner, and they give you 1 and 2, 3-day momentum, right? Each line is a different term, so 1, 2, and 3 day. Remember that, because I'm going to go back to the chart right now. I'm going to add it to the chart. Here we go. Got them on the chart. I'm going to open this little region right here at the bottom so that we can see those predictive differences. Now, here's the key, all right? When the blue line crosses above the black line and the neural index agrees, we want to see those 3 lines moving up. We want the 1, 2, and 3 day momentum all moving up in that case. These are predictive indicators that are generated from the artificial intelligence doing that global market analysis. These are indicators that your tools are missing right now because they are not looking at those global relationships. So, right here, the blue line crosses above here. Let's do this whole chart. Let's go back on the left. The blue line crossed above in January. Everything lined up. Everything agreed. That would be a great trend to jump into. When the blue line crossed below here on 3-4, again, everything agreed. And then we got another reversal projected here on 4-5, and then another reversal projected here on 5-10. You guys see it. You can see where the blue line crosses, the neural index agrees, and the predictive differences are all pointing the same direction. When that's the case, this is a very strong forecast, like I said, over 80% accurate. So let's say I was able to use this information to trade FLIR, and I just went crossover to crossover. All right? Here we go. Crossover to crossover on this trend, a nice trend. This is a 20% profit in 40 trading days on the underlying asset. You had 5 contracts of that, you'd see it'd be much more than 20%. That's, you're controlling 5,000 shares. So that's like a $8,000-$9,000 profit. That's a very, very good profit. Again, crossover to crossover right here, right? $3.52 per share, a substantial move forecasted by the artificial intelligence. If I was to do this, if I just went crossover to crossover using all those confirmations we just talked about, right, very easy, and I'm just drawing rough lines on here, nothing specific, but you can see how valuable it is to have predictive information like this so that you know that the trend is reversing ahead of time, right? It's very easy to see that. If I was to add these all up, and I'll just keep going as I'm adding them up, hopefully I can do both at once, but right now it looks like I'm over 35% in 4 trades, 4 trends easily. Here we go. Here's another one. 40%, right? I'm just drawing rough calculations here because I want you to see how easy it is. Here's another, so we're at 50%. We're over 50% profits, and I haven't even looked at the latest trade, the trend that's on right now. Look at this. This is the current forecast that came out, a couple months ago, and it's been trending now. This was today. Been trending now for 19 trading days, and it's up 12% on the underlying. That's $5.80 per share. Again, 5 contracts on something like this. That's a $2,500 move, right? We're talking about $20,000 in profits just in this one stock over the last 9 months or so, right? This is the kind of information you're looking for. Whether you're a stock trader, whether you're a futures trader or a Forex trader, here's Forex. Look, here's a great thing. Regardless of the asset class, you interpret these indications the same way, right? You interpret it, you look at it the same way, you analyze them the same way. Here's a great trend. Look at this. Here's the new NZD USD. The blue line crossed below, the neural index was red, and all three lines are pointing down. Very easy to see that, right? If you had one lot of this and you just went crossover to the short side, that's why I'm just doing a simple one lot trade. You can see how that's what, over 5,800 NZD per lot, right? That's a fantastic move when you sit back and look at that. That's in one trade. And now we've got a crossover here, and I'm just, again, I'm showing you the ease of use because we're looking at Forex. I don't know that we have any Forex traders on here, but you can see that you can interpret these forecasts the exact same way. And altogether, we're talking about $7,000, $8,000 here in 3 moves. Here's gold for your futures guys on this call. Look at gold. Blue line crossed above back here in May, June. The neural index agreed May 31st. The predictive differences, the momentum, remember, 1, 2, and 3-day momentum, all moving up. So if you went from this crossover to this crossover, very easily you could see how this trend was a very substantial move. And one contract of gold netted about $19,000 in profits on this trend alone. Are you guys seeing this? If you're seeing this, give me an amen or give me an absolutely. Give me something so that you can see that these kinds of moves are possible with this information, right? Here's the SPY. And I'm pulling this up because, the SPY is something that people always ask for, right? Here's the latest move on the SPY. Are you guys seeing this? Look, the blue line crossed above right here, 828. The neural index agreed, and all 3 predictive differences are pointing up. We've got the medium and the long term sideways at this point. Not strong, not pointing up, but sideways. All right, look what happens. The crossover agrees, the neural index agrees. If you went from then until the close today on the SPY, again, I'll just use 5 contracts. You're controlling 500 shares. That's a $4,000 profit, right? That's the kind of information you'd like to use, I'm sure, day in and day out. I see there was some chats that I missed. So somebody wanted to see GE. All right, let's see GE, General Electric. Where's it at? Here we go. Somebody wanted to see VMware. Well, that's something you're trading, but let's look at VMware. All right. FCX. What's FCX? That's Freeport. Yeah. All right. Here we go. We've got 3 new ones. Here's GE. Whoever asked for GE, check out your screen right now so you can see exactly what the forecast is saying. Because if you look at this forecast goes to 920. That is tomorrow, folks. All right, the blue line crossed above. The neural index agreed right here. And if you went from that crossover until the close today, that trend generated about $1 a share, right? Now, this is something where you could easily have 3,000 or 4,000 shares. Depending on how you trade, that's a $3,000 or $4,000 profit on something like this. And for those of you that buy puts, check this out. Let me show you how our most profitable stock and options traders use this. When the blue line crosses below and the neural index agrees and all 3 predictive differences are pointing down, this is an opportunity to buy some puts, right? The most profitable options traders will set their expiration out 45 days or so to give that option enough time to mature. But if they get a crossover before that point, like we did here, you can strike early, reduce your time decay, and take your profits out of that trend. And if you did that, that's $1.61 per share on the underlying, right? That's the kind of information I'm sure you can use and you're looking for. It's all because the artificial intelligence can do that global market analysis. Here's a great opportunity. Here's one where VMware came to an end, right? A nice quick trend over the last few days. Nice little optional move. $9 per share on the underlying in just 12 trading days. Somebody asked for FCX. All right, FCX, here we go. Just looking at the last trend, the blue line crossed above. The neural index agreed. All 3 predictive differences right here on the screen are pointing up. So the momentum is expected to go up over the next 3 days. Let's say you grabbed your entry here and you went to the close today. Right here on this trend alone, you're up $1.43 per share, about 16%, right? You guys see this? You see how valuable this is? If this is something that you think you can use, give me a yes. Give me an, you know what? if you want to put in your phone number too, somebody on my team can call you and look at a specific stock or a market you want to look at. Maybe you want to look at Amazon. Maybe you want to look at, Tesla. Those are all available in the software. Go ahead and put your phone number in, and somebody on my team can give you a call when I'm done talking and walk you through that and answer your questions one-on-one, because I'm running out of time really quickly, but I want to make sure we're all on the same page. This information has been working for traders for decades, and we're giving everybody on this call the opportunity to get started with it, right? And there's another piece of information I want to show you. For those of you that aren't totally convinced that this can help you, check this out. On every chart, you're going to get this little gray candle, right? It's a predicted high and a predicted low. It's available on every single chart that's available in the software, all right? So let's go back to the software. Here is Freeport FCX. The range for tomorrow is expected to be huge. It's a big range, but here's what I'm saying. When you're in a trend like this, you want to protect yourself. You want to set your stop loss somewhere below that predicted low. Let's say you set it at $10 or something like that. So that if this reverses, you get stopped out appropriately, you get stopped out the right way, and you lock in your profits. What do they say? You're never going to lose money taking a profits? You're never going to lose money taking a profit, and this is something that can help you do that. Somebody looks like they're asking for how accurate is that? Well, here, look. Here. I'll show you how accurate it is. I am going to hit F5 on my keyboard, right? F5, and I'm looking at the SPY, because I think everybody can relate to the SPY. I'm going to hit F5, and then I'm going to zoom out, and I'm going to go to, let's go back 6 months. Now, the reason I hit F5 on my keyboard is because I want to show you, let me get this off the screen, how accurate this is. And I can go back a year, I can go back 10 years if you want to. But what I did is I drew the red line on the chart. That's the predicted high on top of the actual candle. The black line on the chart is a predicted low under the actual candle. And I want you to see in the last year, how many of those candles came out of that predicted range? Not very many. You can count them. On the way up, you can see it's extremely accurate. And when it does pop out, it doesn't pop out very much. And if it does pop out to the point you get stopped out, you're probably locked in a profit. On the way down, it's extremely accurate. Look right here. Hardly ever breaks out of that predicted high on the way down. That's using artificial intelligence to your advantage, all right? So let's review the information just one more time for everybody on this call. There's 4 pieces of confirmation on the screen. When you've got 4 pieces of confirmation, you've got a highly accurate forecast in the software. Now, I know the question that comes to your mind is, does it actually work, right? Absolutely. I told you I'd do it. Let me show you what our users are saying. Here's Anderson. He says, as a beginner, simple and intuitive. I'm jumping around here. He says, through my own personal ambition and behavior, it's helping Anderson. Alfred says, I'm 90 years old, and with my efforts are to continue funding a trust for education of my grandchildren. Look, in 5 days, he made $6,452, right? That's the kind of investment in a tool that I'm sure you're looking for. So if you want to be like one of these guys and take your trading to a new level, put in your phone number so that somebody on my team can reach out to you and walk you through how you can do that. Because here's another one. Andrew, he made 115% my first 2 weeks using Vantage Point software. Guys, that's a real user making 115%, both paper trading and real trades, he says. I can see myself trading full time someday soon. Here's Billy. Now, he said, I started out in the stock market 7 years ago and over time lost a good deal of money. Right? You've been there. You've done that. He says, Vantage Point is slowly helping me recover the money I've lost over the years. My advice to traders would be to buy Vantage Point. Don't get too greedy or anxious. Wait until Vantage Point indicates a good buy or sell, and you will make money. Those are his words, guys, not mine. Right? All right, so I see some of the questions coming through about how to get this or what you get. Let me move into that real quick as well because we're running out of time here. With Vantage Point, you're going to get the predicted moving averages, the predicted highs and lows, the predicted neural index, those predicted differences, predictive strength information. You're going to get all of that in the software, and you can see we've been helping traders now for, 29 years, 28 years. Look at this. Here's what we put together for everybody. You're going to get a Vantage Point software license for 12 months, 1 year of this artificial intelligence technology. You're going to get, for the first 3 weeks, every asset class available in the software. Remember, the asset classes in the software range. You can see them on the screen. You're going to get them all for 3 weeks. At the end of 3 weeks, you're going to decide which sector you want to keep. all right? You can get the technology sector. That's my personal recommendation as far as one of the best sectors around. Services is a very large sector. It has things like Google and Chipotle and Netflix. That's a great sector. You get to pick any one of those stock sectors, and you'll keep that sector for the next 12 months. We're also going to give you a rapid results quick start guide so you can get up and running right away. And remember, I told you we give you training. You're going to have an online training portal with 24 on-demand access, 24 hours a day, right? There's modules, there's resources, and we go a step further and we give everybody dedicated support with a one-on-one software coach for 6 months included with this license free of charge, okay? For 6 months included, so you can do stuff like Sam. Look, Sam spent $15,000 on some other tool, so he was a little skeptical when we met him, and he decided that he was okay spending the $4,000 in Vantage Point after seeing the information and the demonstration. Look what he says. I started trading with Vantage Point with real money 6 months ago, and my account has tripled. Who on this call wants to grow your account drastically, dramatically, and have real financial freedom? Go ahead and put your phone number, and we'll show you how you can do that, all right? So here's the package, and this is a Candlestick Forum special to celebrate our 40-year anniversary. So everybody that's on this call will have the opportunity to get started with this license. You're going to get a software license for one sector that's normally $2,900. You're going to get unlimited access to the training portal, quick start guide. You're also going to get 6 months of unlimited one-on-one support. That total package comes to $5,685. But what we're doing to celebrate our 40th anniversary is we're giving that to everybody on this call for $997 for 1 year. Right? You get to save $4,097 for 1 year. Right? You get to save $4,600 immediately. That's a 40-year anniversary special, and it's available through this webinar for Candlestick Forum. All right. Now the question I always get is, what about data? The only ongoing investment is your data. That's $35 a month, and you pay that to a separate company called Traders Only. They collect the global data. It's like the gas for the car. The AI needs mass amounts of data to generate those predictions, and they format it and they push it right into the software. It's like I said, the gas for the car. Nothing, it's $1 a day. Now, I'm going to take it a step further because I know there's a lot of people on this call that trade options and stocks. I'm going to give you concierge treatment. It's normally $295, where somebody on my team can do a personal installation, do some system performance enhancements in the software, do an individualized navigation tutorial. We give that to everybody for free, included, as long as you get started this evening. So go ahead and put in your phone number so that you can get started with this license, because this is a special that we're doing for everybody on this call to give you the opportunity to get started. See, the Mendelsohns want to reduce and lower any barrier to entry so that you can get started using the technology, right? I got your phone number, Joe. Thank you. Bill, I see that. I've got your phone number. Looks like, is that Sue? Missing a number. Okay. All right. So let me just make sure we're on the same page. Let me break down the package again for everybody on this call. All right. You can see it on the screen. You're going to get a 12-month license for one sector. You're going to get unlimited online portal access. You're going to get quick start guide. You're going to get 6 months of one-on-one support. Normally over $5,000, it's $997. All right. Now I want to show you something else, because I always get the question is, how do you find the crossovers? Well, here, look at your screen right now. Now this isn't included in the package, but if you're interested in getting a scanning feature, put in your phone number now. Somebody will give you a call and tell you how to add that scanning feature to your package. It's called IntelliScan. And I'm going to open up an IntelliScan and look for bearish opportunities, right? I just clicked on the button. It takes about 5 seconds to run through the stock market and find the opportunities they're setting up for a bearish move tomorrow. It just scanned 16, look at the top left corner. I know it's small, but 1,600 different opportunities, and it found 17 that meet the criteria, meaning they're coming out of a long uptrend, and there's a fresh crossover expecting it to go down. Lattice Semiconductor. Let's check this one out. All right, so this one's been trending up for 57 days. There's a crossover to the downside. The neural index, look on the right-hand side of the chart. Crossover to the downside. The neural index agrees, and all three predictive differences are pointing down, and that gray bar is lower than today. So tomorrow's prediction is lower than today. In a matter of seconds, you can see how it found these opportunities. Here's another one, Stamps.com, right? Stamps.com. If you don't know it, STMP. Nice big uptrend going. The blue line crossed below. Look on the right-hand side of the screen. We're analyzing what is live in the software right now. Blue line crossed below. The neural index is red, and the predictive differences are pointing down. I see there's some questions about how you can pay, all that stuff. Go ahead and put your phone number, and somebody on my team can ask you some questions on how you want to pay and how you want to get started with the software, and they can work out some special packages for you. Now, some of you may want this scanning feature that finds these opportunities. Go ahead and chat in IntelliScan as well. And then somebody on my team can talk to you about how to add IntelliScan to your package. Now, if you're like me, you don't want to pay yearly. I don't like yearly subscriptions. You can get a lifetime license. We offer a lifetime license. Just go ahead and chat in your phone number with lifetime next to it, and somebody on my team could build a lifetime package. The other question I always get, because I'm running out of time here, but the other question I always get is, can I get more sectors? Yes, absolutely. We can customize a package for you. Heck, you can get multiple asset classes. We can customize all that for you so that you can be more successful, all right? At the end of the day, the key here is that you get started with the artificial intelligence, and we have just loaded in the chat a link that you can click on to go ahead and pay for the package yourself on your own. If you just have questions, here, let's do this. If you want to dig into more detail and you just have questions, put in your phone number. It doesn't commit you to anything. It gives you the opportunity to talk to an expert like myself, right? I told you earlier I was going to do something. I was going to show you some major studies. Let me do that. For everybody on this call right now that might want a little bit more information about how well this works, it's been reviewed over the decades. It's been reviewed by major publications around the world to forecast. You know, when you say you can forecast with up to 86% accuracy, you can imagine what people are saying and reviewing. And you can see that here, one review, Traders World, most experts dispensing advice to traders have about 27% average accuracy. Vantage Point's average is 86%, right? That's an edge I knew it could improve my own trading. Traders Magazine talks about the credibility of the software. It's a real key, the fact that the forecasts anticipate trends in advance. This review says recouping the cost of the software should not be a challenge, right? That's from major publications, and this has been happening for decades, right? Here's some of the other reviews. You may think that, some people say, hey, Daniel, you cherry-picked some good reviews. Well, here, look. There's thousands, probably thousands of reviews on this site right here about people that use the software, right? Look at this one. You can read it. I trade to supplement my retirement income and provide extras for myself and my family. So far, I've made 11 trades and had 10 winners. My total profit is $7,280, $7,280 in 10 trades, and I'm just getting started, right? Look at this one next to him, Jerry. This was just from last month. My very first trade using the software returned 15%. I have yet to have a losing trade. Wow. 3 weeks, not a losing trade. I can tell you, look at Scott, I can tell you I had 2 options trade yielding 1,400%, which I cashed out, and another that's over 500% that I remain in. These are the kinds of trends I'm sure you're looking for that you want to get started with the software, right? There's some questions about what is a sector, all right? So let's go back to the software really quickly. Look on the left-hand side of the screen, guys. I just opened up the stock market, and there's 13 sectors over here on the left. Basic materials, cannabis, capital goods, all the way down, services, technology, transportation. One sector would be technology, right? So you can start it with the technology sector or the healthcare sector, whatever sector it is that you're primarily trading in. And if you want more, put in your phone number and let somebody on my team help you do that, help you figure out how to get more. Our goal is that every trader on this call has the opportunity to use AI to give yourself that edge, because you're trading against other traders out there and you need to win more often, and this will give you that edge. I mean, think about it. Is it? I asked you guys to ask yourself a question throughout this presentation about whether or not this makes sense. I believe the answer to that question is yes. It's time to take action. I mean, by now, I think you can see that this software is designed to be easy and profitable, right? I mean, think about it. If I'm even half right, does it still make sense? I think the answer to that is yes. This kind of information is extremely valuable, and there's no reason why you shouldn't have it, all right? Guys, I've gone over on time. I know we had some technical issues, but I really appreciate you, Stephen, in Candlestick Forum, and everybody that's on this call for giving me the opportunity to give you a chance to be more successful in the markets. If you haven't put your phone number in, go ahead and put your phone number in so that we can help you. You know, the predictive indicators, the gray candle, Ed is asking about the gray candle. You can see that information goes back 10 years. Once you have the software, you can put all these predictive indicators on the chart and go back 10 years if you want to and see how accurate it is. The last 5 market reversals, the major market reversals on the S&P and the Dow and the NASDAQ were forecasted with this artificial intelligence. And you can see that when you look yourself. You just got to get started. So, guys, I'm way over my time. I appreciate everybody giving me the opportunity. Again, Stephen and everybody at Candlestick Forum, thank you for the time. Best of luck to your trading.